Okay, head coach Becky, we're having a tough loss against Toledo, but on a day where we set the alumni arena attendance record with over 4,900 people here. So,
wow.
Coach, we'll just take an opening statement from you, and then we'll take questions from there.
Yeah, I obviously want to thank everybody that came out today, and setting an arena record here is a pretty incredible accomplishment given what this program has done and how this city supports women's basketball here. It's pretty incredible. So thank you so much to everybody that came out and supported us and made this day possible. It's going to go down the record books. Obviously not the outcome that we wanted, but still so appreciative of everybody that made it happen. So credit to Toledo, played a really, really tough game, and I wish we could have 10 minutes to start the game back. I believe it's a totally different outcome if that happens, but unfortunately we've had some slow starts this season that have not bit us in the butt, and we knew we were playing with fire if we didn't start playing better to start the game. And so eventually a good team was going to sustain their lead against us and not allow us to come back and ultimately win like some other teams have. So we need to learn a lesson from this. It's going to be a hard lesson. It's a tough pill to swallow because I believe we are the better team. But unfortunately, we did not help ourselves. We played very well for 30 out of 40 minutes, but to beat a Toledo or a Kent State or a Ball State, you need a full 40. So upset for our players and the day that it could have been had we won, but we need to learn a lesson from this, a hard lesson, and if we're better for it and take a loss and be better for it moving forward, then I think we would all take that.
Becky, you talk about slow starts. What was said in the locker room? You guys had losing by 14 at the half, but able to come out and have a great second half. What did you tell your team?
The same thing that we tell them every time we go in the locker room and we're losing. It's we should not be in this position. We control how we start a game. We control the narrative, and we always want to put ourselves in a position to battle back once we get punched in the face. Like, you shouldn't need a punch in the face to get motivated to start a basketball game, and that's just what we talked about post-game in the locker room as well. Unfortunately, at halftime, we've had to adjust and motivate and do a lot more of that than we should have had to this year, and eventually it was going to bite us in the butt, and today was the day. We can't go into halftime down 14 and just think we're going to get bailed out every single time. It's not going to happen. So adjustments, obviously, but the motivation piece that I have to go in there and motivate my team when we're down double digits is not a place you want to be as a head coach.
Becky, how much of the first 10 minutes was just compared to not executing the game plan versus just you guys just weren't getting buckets to fall?
We know we're not, an 80s, 90s team. Like, we're never going to be the highest scoring team in this league. But what we do know is that we defend at a high level, and we weren't doing that while we weren't scoring. And so there's your problem, and there's where it becomes an issue for us, is that 6 points in a quarter is okay. But they can only have 8. They can only have 10. We can't not be scoring and then be giving up as much as we did. We were not locked in defensively to start this basketball game, and that's on me, and we'll make sure that we get that corrected moving forward.
Becky, given that you guys had that slow start, and then seeing the comeback that your team was able to make and how exciting those, last few seconds of the game were, what is it about Chella that you trust so much to, really give the ball into her hands?
Yeah, I think it's such a just an experience thing with her and I together, and just knowing her and her knowing me. Like, she knows when I want her to pull it out and run something, and she knows when I'm going to let her flow, and it's you're going to let Chella take a couple shots that are maybe not quote unquote good shots to a lot of people, because she's going to miss 2 of them and she's going to make 2 that nobody else can make, and that's, I think, a player coach relationship where we've been together long enough where I know when she has the ball and I can see it in her eyes and she's squaring somebody up, I know I'm not calling a play because she's going to work, right? But then there's times where she does know that I need her to pull it out, and she's done a very good job at that as well. So just time and experience together with us. You see her making a play at the end of the game like she did, and just does that on a daily basis, which we should all be grateful that we're getting to see for one last season.
And Chella, what was the adrenaline like, within those last couple seconds? I mean, you have the stands packed with elementary kids, screaming their heads off for you, but what was it like? How were you feeling after you first make, the basket to tie it up, or, get within, kind of lessen that deficit there?
I was feeling pretty good. Just knowing that my team had confidence in me to even take the shot. My coaches had confidence in me, and knowing that it could be another game like that, so just be ready at all times.
Guys, just more so kind of alluding back to the fact of what you guys had here today, and I know this part of the season is good for you guys, and you have all these kids show up too. I talked to a couple of just teachers and coaches about just how cool it is when they look at the young girls in their class who get to watch you, Chella, and get to watch you coach on the sidelines. I know the result today wasn't what you guys wanted, but when you go back and reflect on this game on the grand scheme of things, how important is a day like today for women's basketball and little girls that get to watch you guys on the court?
Gotcha.
It's great. We play for the kids. We're like their role models. We try to do our best for the kids, and just having them here on Education Day, just knowing that it's education first. That's why we got Education Day, and knowing that they could do anything, and if they want to be one of us when they grow up, that they could try hard. And yes.
I've been to education games. I've been a part of education games as a player. And this is one of the top environments that I've ever seen, at any level. I played at the Power 5 level in Education Day games, and it did not look like this. And so, we just played in one a week or so ago that did not look like this. And so it's a credit to Sarah and the team. And I'm missing probably 10 names that helped you out, Sarah, but to put an environment together like this, really, really disappointed that we couldn't pull it out and just make it a complete day. But ultimately, what it was is special, and it's a credit to a village of people, starting with this one right here, of how much work. We've been talking about this for over a year now since the last game. We want to continue to grow it. We want to break it again next year, and it takes a special group here at Buffalo, and it takes a special community supporting us and caring about women's basketball to make this happen. We're beyond thankful, appreciative, grateful to every single student, teacher, parent that allowed this to happen today. So thank you guys so much.
Any other questions for coach or player? All right, thank you guys.
Thank you.
Appreciate you coming out.